Let's see what the Financial Times has to say about nudging you to have more sustainable food choices. Sustainable for who?
226. That's the number of decisions we make about food every day, according to a 2007 Cornell University study. The physical and symbolic environment in which we make these decisions is called choice architecture, a phrase coined in 2008 by behavioral economists Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein.
Cass Sunstein, wow. Cass Sunstein, everybody. Why do these same names pop up all the time? Cass Sunstein. You guys remember him from the Obama administration? Talking about how to control certain narratives and get rid of pesky little people asking questions on the internet by infiltrating them and spreading false information. Cass Sunstein.
To choice architecture encourage people towards certain behaviors. That's nudge theory. The smell of baking in a supermarket and sweets by the checkout. These are nudges. But can nudging be harnessed to promote food sustainability? In 2012, a study at Indiana University showed that by removing trays from a student canteen and reducing the surface area for diners to fill, 18% less food was wasted. Language can have an impact. For plant-based meals, the words meat-free and vegan may signal a social identity that many don't aspire to. Recent trials conducted by the World Resources Institute.
The World Resources Institute, which is connected with, I think it's the MacArthur Foundation. World Resources Institute, mobilizing massive amounts of capital from big investors, right, in order to nudge you towards plant-based diet. World Resources Institute involved in all this stuff with like Avaz, 350.org, and the whole Greta Thunberg giant mega scam. The World Resources Institute, which was instrumental in pushing for planetary dietary guidelines through the Eat Lancet a paper that was published and heavily criticized by a lot of people in the whole, I don't know what you call it, pro-health, pro-human world. The World Resources Institute studies these things. And this is where a lot of this money is coming from. Groups like the Rockefeller Foundation, the Ford Foundation, the Carnegie Foundation, these giant, the Open Society Foundation, these giant foundations put so much money into all these little shell games where they're able to influence you and your behavior by funding things like studies, by buying stocks, right, by manipulating markets, by nudging you through propaganda. These people plan on getting you to behave the way they want you to behave.
Found that when Sainsbury's meat-free sausage and mash was renamed Cumberland Spiced Veggie Sausages and Mash, sales increased by 76%.
Wow, 76%. When you remind people that there's no meat in it, they don't want it. They don't want that shit.
Critics of consumer nudging say it avoids tackling the whole food chain. The UK's Behavioural Insights team, a government-backed company that uses psychology to try to change public...
Government-backed company that uses psychology to change your behavior. You see this? Kind of like Tavistock. This stuff is all, these public-private partnerships are all over the place. And this is how these things get funded. This is how these activists get trained. This is how these narratives get pushed.
Behaviour is looking at double nudges to be introduced through policy. These would be aimed at consumers, yet also encourage businesses to change. An example of this is the UK's 2018 sugar tax on soft drinks. Customers had to pay the tax, but as a result, companies dropped the sugar content of their drinks by almost 30% per 100 ml to keep prices down.
Sugar tax. So there you go. They want to tax your meat. You understand this? They want to tax your foods that you can grow on your own property, on your own land, to feed your own children, to feed your own families. They want to tax those so much that the Beyond Burger and Impossible Shit Burgers cost less than that. And then also convince you that it's better for the environment to eat that industrial slop that's made from ingredients shipped from all over the world, processed in China. They want you to eat that and think that this is activism. And there are a bunch of idiots out there who they don't even have to pay who will advertise this shit. All these ideologues and these little stupid ass cults, these little consumer cults like veganism, will help to nudge the consumer for free because they're that dumb.
Consumers, yet also encourage businesses to change. An example of this is the UK's 2018 sugar tax on soft drinks. Customers had to pay the tax, but as a result, companies dropped the sugar content of their drinks by almost 30% per 100 ml to keep prices down. A supermarket sustainability rating system could function in a similar way and is being considered by behavioral insights.
So behaviorists are going to make that is social credits. They want to put social credits on every behavior you could possibly do and leverage your behavior. You leverage those social credits to nudge you to behave in certain ways, to speak in certain ways, to act in certain ways. This is what it's about. They're talking about it's not just about taxing, it's about social credits on everything. So if you buy the vegan kibble at Tesco instead, you'll get those social credits that you can use on your VR OnlyFans subscription. Or you get those social credits. They want to get big tech involved in every transaction and have this moral calculus for global well-being and sustainability done on every transaction that you do, including social transactions.
It would give food retailers a clear overall sustainability score, so consumers would only need to make one sustainability decision over where to shop instead of considering each individual product. Subconsciously, people are more receptive to habit alterations in times of upheaval, as the world is experiencing right now due to the coronavirus. For that reason, behavioral scientists see this moment as a potentially exciting window for change.
Yes, they do. They sure do. That's the most important line there. Behavioral scientists, they call them. Behavioral scientists.